What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Wednesday, the hump day, September 6th, 2023. How is everybody doing out there? Hope your week is going by quickly with this kind of a short week with the holiday and everything. We are celebrating. We don't celebrate enough around here, in my opinion. Some people look for the next party. What's going on with this microphone? Uh-oh. Where am I? Righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? Anyways, we're doing some celebrating. The defense had themselves a day. I don't want to hear, I know that everybody is going to say, oh, it's just Indiana, but it's Power 5 team technically. So defense did well, held them to about 150 yards total offense. They came out, Indiana did, with a triple option. So Buckeyes were well prepared, even though they didn't practice it more than 5 times ever. So let's get into it. Oh, PC, you're first, PC. Good to see you. Hey, we're taking calls today, so pop in there. Everybody wants to voice their opinion about this team, this defense. Why? Yeah, anyways, why ask why? Let's get into it. I'm going to read you some quotes from Jim Knowles, and you probably saw the Daily Blitz yesterday about the defense and the PFF grades, snap counts, all that. We can rehash some of that if you really want to focus on somebody. I want to talk about some of the freshmen that got in, especially on defense. But all right, so let's go. First of all, LadyBuckeyes, where are you at? I haven't seen the LadyBuckeyes in quite a while. I've seen Sue occasionally. She pops in. But where's Cassie? Cassie was in last year. I can't remember everybody, but calling out to the LadyBuckeyes, this is a safe place for you as well. So don't be afraid to pop in, call in, hit the chat, all that good stuff. And get your scores in, everybody get your scores in for the Youngstown State game. We're doing t-shirt giveaway every week, total points. So get your scores in. And my guy, Ray Straight is his username. Need to get in contact with me. If you add an email address to your YouTube account, then I can email you directly, and we won't have to worry about some fakes trying to steal your free t-shirt. But get a hold of me, Ray. So let's get to the show here. On how the defense felt after the game, Jim Knowles said, hey, we did our job. Nobody's going to have a parade and say, hey, you did your job. But it does build confidence for future opponents. It does. And I think Sonny Styles, especially going sideline to sideline, disrupting plays, run plays, especially. He had a great day. What was his snap count here? He was at, one second, Sonny Styles. Oh, Lorenzo got in there in special teams. Yeah, Sonny had 49 snaps. I think the total plays were 54, 55 for Indiana. So Sonny was in there for virtually every snap. They pulled him off maybe on a extra, if they had an extra receiver in, like 4 wide or 5 wide or something. But so anyways, Jim Knowles said the team practiced against the triple option 5 plays total in fall camp. He said, we were able to make adjustments quickly. They understand the system. So when I said something, they got it. So these are the benefits we're finally reaping from the second year in a system. And, I don't know, I can't speak to how difficult the system is, but seemingly there's a lot going on. So good that everybody made their presence felt, and everybody knew what to do when he made a call. So what else here? He said there were about a dozen defensive players that graded out as champions against Indiana. That's awesome. Seems like we've had a hard time doing that. A dozen defensive players in the past. Seems like in the past, even against shitty teams, we were lucky to get 5 or 6 guys grading out champions, and from what Jim Knowles liked on Saturday, he said, I thought we were solid across the board, but there were a couple third downs where we gave up a completion, or they start doing all the triple option stuff and you get slightly off a gap. I just would have liked to see us stop a couple more third downs. Well, they did pretty well on third downs, actually, Coach. I mean, they had, we were 2 of 12. I remember that. They were 4 of 15. So that's 20, a little over 25%. So it's pretty good for a defense, keeping an opponent, around 25%. But Knowles said he wants to see the defense perform against conventional offenses. So, actual drop back passing, running games. So he wants to see more pass rush reps when quarterbacks can truly drop back. Obviously, you want to see your big boys eat up front. On the corners, he said Denzel Burke and the secondary's performance had been seen in practice, but he was happy to see it come through in the game reps. His quote was, you have to see it show in the game, but if you're doing things right as a coach, practice mirrors the game. Wish the offense was the same. Why doesn't the offense mirror the game in practice? Anyway, he said about IGB, Davison Igbenoson's pass interference penalty. You don't hold him back at all. We want him to be physical. We want him to be aggressive. We want him to lay hands on people. Now you just coach up the technique. I think you got to maybe dial back the aggression a little bit. He got that targeting call. Fortunately, he got it called back. They took off the targeting, but from one camera angle, it did look like it was helmet to helmet. I know it was shoulder to helmet, but anyway, just got to be careful. Can't have guys getting thrown out for silly shit. On the safeties, Jim Knowles said that I thought Josh played well. Josh Proctor, we always had high hopes for him. Talented, looking for that consistency, as Coach talked about. He showed that towards the end of preseason work. So again, consistency, all these position coaches and the coordinators and everything are preaching that. So Knowles still wants to see how Proctor performs against a downfield passing attack. You'll get that in a couple of weeks against Western Kentucky for sure. Knowles said his strong point is being aggressive, playing downhill as a safety. So that's definitely something I want to see. There are indications that we're moving on the right path. So again, you can't be playing downhill from the free safety position all the time. If they're throwing it over your head, you can't be coming downhill. Anyways, good to see the positivity on Proctor. Malik Hartford, the true freshman, he said he's a young, talented player. He's just around the ball. At free safety on why Jihad Carter didn't play, he said tough decisions. Guys are in a battle and they're all good quality players. That's coaching. You just evaluate all the plays, all the reps. So I think Jihad Carter was still dinged up. Maybe he didn't want to mention that, but I think he was still a little injured, and because he would have played some snaps, right? Linebackers, he said the team didn't rotate linebacker as much as they would have liked on Saturday. Knowles said, I wish I could have done that. You get a limited number of plays, then you get a triple option, which is a complicated offense, particularly if you haven't played against it. So obviously, I think he's inferring that CJ Hicks only got 1 snap on defense there, and he probably would have liked more. Again, only 54, 55 plays for Indiana. That's not normal. I didn't really care for the way Tom Allen came out there kind of being a bitch and just running clock, not even trying to score. They were never, ever, ever trying to score or even win the game. I saw better effort from them on defense than offense. It was really sad. I don't know. It's almost like tanking, just letting the clock run down. I don't agree with that philosophy. I know it's a philosophy that a lot of coaches employ, but especially when you got an inferior team going against a truly superior team, like very superior. It's kind of pussy football to me. I don't agree with it. It's like you're just trying to get out of there as quickly as possible and take your loss. I don't like that. That's not trying to win the game. That's not the true spirit of the game. But anyway, D-line, just to finish up on Coach Knowles' points here. He said on the play of the defensive line, they made plays. They made plays in the run game for those 0, 1, 2, 3 yard gains. These guys are making tackles for 3 yards or less in the run game. That's a really good thing. And on the defensive line rotation, he said, I loved it. Guys stayed fresh. We're going to have to rush the passer. And when you're taking a lot of shots in the run game, you've got to stay fresh. So they must be getting along pretty well, Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson. So that's a good thing. We got a caller. I see you, PC. I'm coming to you. Hold on. I got to get my headphones in. Should have been prepared. We got PC waiting in the waiting room. We're going to take his call here in a sec. Just want to check on the chat. All right, I'll come back to the chat. Let's go to PC. PC. Oh, still joining. PC, how you doing?
Hey Joe, good to talk to you, man. Haven't talked to you in a few days. Been since the last week, I guess, before the game. But yeah, I was watching. I went back and watched your Sunday show and been watching the dailies and everything. Okay, here's the thing, and you guys have already said it. You know, we're going around and around. I get it. It's week one. You know, nobody's perfect. You know, the dust hasn't settled. All this and that. Bottom line is, and you guys said it on Sunday. You know, this, and Sean was amped, man.
Yeah, he was. He must have done an extra rail.
Honestly, yeah, he said what I was thinking, man. Like this ain't gonna get it done, buddy. There's no way in hell that this is gonna get us to the Natty or even get us freaking Big Ten championship. So yeah, this is not gonna cut it. So yeah, offense. I mean, I know this show's about defense. I'll get to that in a sec, but okay. Yeah, that offense, man, it was flat. There is no two ways about it. I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna pull a hairball from last year. If they're kind of well, not to say that they set Kyle up for failure. I don't think they did, but you know, put him out there. Okay, nothing there, and then slide in Devin Brown. You know, could be. It feels to me very reminiscent of last year for a team up north. So I don't know.
Yeah, I see your point there. Yeah, go ahead.
No, one thing it gets me though, and I'll get off my soapbox on the offense, but one thing it gets me is, well, two things. One, there's no way that Marv and Emeka can't get open. Two catches each, right?
Yeah.
What is that? You know, like, well, okay, I guess if you don't have somebody throwing the ball, then you're not going to get a catch, right? But man, that's unsaid. Those guys got to get open. I mean, regardless, even if it is short range, you know. But but the other thing is, like, you know, Day in his press conference put out, you know, well, a little disappointed we couldn't get Devin in there, all this and that. Well, you made that call, Bubba. This isn't, you know, some machine that's sitting here churning on its own, or somebody else making the decision here. You're the man who made that call to not put him in. So don't, own it. Say, well, yeah, I got tight. I got, I don't know, paranoid or, whatever, nervous, whatever it is, just own it. So, okay. So defense, great to see Sonny out there. I think our guys, our front four did pretty good. They're definitely should have been more sacks. There's only one, and that was Hero Canoe, right?
Right. I don't think they credited Jaden McKenzie. I think they gave him a TFL because it looked like the quarterback had started to scramble. He hadn't reached the line of scrimmage, I don't think, though. So in my opinion, I thought Jaden McKenzie had a sack, but regardless, Hero was the only official sack.
Okay. Well, that's great to see for him. I mean, I've been high on that guy since he signed. Like he seems like he's going to be a monster, really, in my opinion. But no, lots of hurries, some tackles for loss. That's all good to see. I'm feeling pretty good about the front four, and honestly, the defense as a whole. They're held Indiana to 3. I mean, no TDs. That's a good sign. I know it's Indiana, and maybe they were kind of chewing clock, I guess trying to get out of there. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they went into it knowing, it is what it is. Ohio State going to come in and kick our ass. I mean, that's just, okay, we're just going to take it and go home. Right. But I don't know. It seemed like they were trying to move the ball a little bit. They had a little bit going on. So maybe I got to go back and watch. But they seemed like their guys were flying around trying to create something. They just weren't able to. Our guys were all over them all the time.
Yeah. They had
IDB looked great.
Oh yeah, he did. I love the physicality. I was just looking at Indiana's drive chart here. 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 6-play punt, 8-play field goal. I think that's when they got that 24-yard pass play that set it up. Then they went 7 plays, gave up the ball on downs. Then second half, 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 14 plays, turn it over on downs. So they actually went for it on 4th down a couple times. And then their last possession, 6 plays, punt.
Well, again, I mean, they're not world beaters on the offensive side by any stretch. But I'm curious though, how good is that team going to be down the road? I mean, I remember a few years ago, Indiana was they were hyped, and they were kind of projected to be, some a pretty good contender. I don't know about winning everything, but they're in the West, right?
Indiana's in the East, I believe.
Are they in the East? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago they were, they were, I don't know, as far as like going to win the Big Ten, but like they were something, right? But last couple of years they haven't been.
Yeah.
But their offense is nothing to write home about either. But I did think that our defense really kind of stuck in there, and it looked improved to me over last year, and I'm not so much excited to see what happens, this weekend or even next weekend, because those are, to be honest, these are cream puffs. We should wipe the floor with these guys. To be honest, man, I was on Saturday, I was at my kids' football game, so I wasn't watching it on my phone. I was kind of keeping up with the score and looking down every so often. It was like late in the game. It was real low score. And I was like, what in the hell is going on, man? It reminded, and it was kind of the same scenario because I was at a football game last year for Northwestern, and I was watching the score on my phone then, and it was real late in the game, and it was real low score, and I'm like, what in the fuck? What the? I don't get it. Like, anyway, now, come to find out, all the stuff that happened, or I guess didn't happen really, but
the weather game.
yeah, but you know, um, overall, I'm optimistic about the D. IGB, Hero Canoe, Sonny. A little disappointed that CJ didn't get anything. I think he was out there as special teams, right? But
yeah, he might have gotten one snap on defense, but that's it. So
yeah, that's not good. Well, special teams, they had I saw one good run back by Indiana, and the kicker had to make a tackle or something. Like, what the heck is that?
Right. Yeah. And on a punt, the punter, Jesse Mirko, had to make a tackle on the sideline.
What the heck, man? Like, that's unsat. You can't do that.
There's some issues going on with the special teams.
God.
That Lucas kid, the returner, was good. He's fast, little guy, but still, you can't get past the first two waves of dudes and have kickers and punters making tackles, for Christ's sake.
No. Lots of room for improvement, but yeah, you mentioned on one of the shows, number 44, I think he was a linebacker for Indiana. Yeah, he was. That guy was all over the place, man.
He was.
You're right.
Is that Casey? Aaron Casey? Yeah, he had 11 tackles. TFL. That Andre Carter was the defensive end that was living in the backfield. He had a couple TFLs. He was number 1, I think.
I was watching, and honestly, obviously, Trainham did pretty well. I think he did great, but I was watching Travion. He looked pretty good, man. He had a couple decent runs. He was getting in there, and I guess, he was he didn't have running lanes, because the whole line was getting pushed around, but I thought he did pretty good. A couple stretch plays that he ran around.
Yeah, I don't like it when they run that stretch play into the boundary side, though. It seems like you're just boxing yourself in,
Yeah, I agree. You're kind of limiting your running room there. I absolutely agree. But maybe the thought is that the other team is expecting you to run to the wide side of the field rather than narrow side. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
they've been doing it for a couple of years, though. It's like I don't know. It seems to be something in Ryan Day's offense that they like to do, and they're continuing it. It's really frustrating when you get little to no gain. Guy gets pushed out of bounds. It's like, come on. There's plenty of green grass on the other side of the field.
Yeah, a lot of people were going back to the D. I'm bouncing around. Sorry, man.
It's all right.
A lot of people are talking about Jack Sawyer. Like, where was he at? And I don't know. I mean, I saw him around, but yeah, somebody said, did he even play? Well, yeah, he did, but
yeah.
But I was kind of expecting more from him, to be honest. JT, he was apparent on the field and let his presence be felt. But Sawyer was kind of missing in action a little bit, I thought.
Yeah, they got him registered for 4 tackles, 1 solo. The thing is that option, and first of all, they only had like 20 dropbacks total to pass. So they were 9 of 20 with the 2 combined quarterbacks. And when they're running that option, it's going away from Jack. It's going to the strong side. So that's why you see a lot of JT involved in those run plays and option plays, because he's the strong side defensive end. He's the one at the point of attack. So he's either getting blocked or he's making the play. So Jack's on the backside. But I think he could utilize his speed and get, to the far hash, at least maybe the sideline. But Yeah, would have been nice to see more of him in the backfield on those few pass plays.
Yeah. You went over the numbers, and I don't recall off the top of my head, but how did Ransom do?
Let's see. Pass coverage. Ransom graded out at a 60. So just average.
Average, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what I'm kind of worried about for Ransom is that he kind of checks out like Hickman did for last year. He was last year. I don't think he was overwhelming, and I'm hoping that Ransom sticks in there. It seems like these guys last year before they go pro, it's almost like they kind of play it conservative, don't want to get hurt, don't want to, they're basically making business decisions to not engage so much to kind of save themselves for the draft or whatever.
Right.
I wouldn't want to see that for any of these guys. That wouldn't bode well for us, I don't think.
No, we've like you said, we've seen it bite us before. He had no tackles. Wow. No tackles. Yeah.
That's surprising. I think he would have had something, but
maybe an assist, but he had one catch against him. It was just a 6-yard catch.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I don't know what we're going to learn from, even on the defensive side, from these first 3 games, but could very well turn out that we don't find out till Notre Dame, which, that's I'd like to know what I'm getting into before you get to that game, but somebody was predicting a curb stomping in Notre Dame, and that was a couple months ago, and I think maybe need to kind of walk that back a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think we really knew what they had in Sam Hartman yet. Now we do have a little taste. So yeah, could be a real offense over there. We'll see
might be,
how they measure up.
But last year, just to kind of refresh people's memory, like the first 6 games, I guess it was, there were, Buckeyes looked like monsters going into those games and whooping ass all over the place, and then down the stretch, injuries and other things kind of slowed their roll quite a bit. Hopefully, these 3 games here aren't like, I don't know. I guess hopefully we learn something, able to adjust some things. Sounds like defense is improved, offense. We need to get that going, and I don't care which quarterback it is. Doesn't matter to me, long as we get her done. But I think we slid down to 5th now. I thought I saw.
Oh, in the polls.
In the AP poll, I think it was.
Yeah, it might have been.
But whatever. Just got to get to the end in one piece, beat the team up north, and all will be well.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'll make room for my compatriots here.
All right.
But hey, thanks, Joe, for keeping me updated. I'll do a better job about keeping in touch, and I always watch, always but may or may not be able to call in depending on what's going on at work. So
sure, no problem. Hey, I appreciate you being one of the reliable TBC OGs.
OG. All right, buddy.
All right.
Hey, man, I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. All right, folks, we got time for one more call today, and I'm going to hit the chat right now and see what's happening. Frank, what's up, Frank? He says, I hope Ohio State plays better on Saturday. You and me both, man. He also says, Kyle McCord looked like a deer in the headlights. Our defense will be tested in the Western Kentucky game. Yeah, especially through the air. PC has a score of 42-0 for the Youngstown State game. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I don't smoke. Jeremiah says, get the football into the hands of your playmakers. Ohio State does that. Buckeyes win going away. Yes, I would expect that for sure. Tyrone, what's up, Tyrone? Good to see you. Says OSU will be fine. Some fans are just insane idiots. Yeah. Ask Kirk Herbstreit. Odysseus says, get rid of stretch. I'm with you there, at least to the boundary side. If you're going to run the stretch, that's fine. First you got to block it up, but then you need room to go. You got to have some green grass. You can't just run into the sideline every time. So yeah. Odysseus says he had 4 tackles. Jack, I think you're referring to, he also said maybe JT and Jack are both strong side DNs, should mix them with Curry and Kenyatta. Yeah, I guess you could do that. It's 5-star talent sitting on the bench, though. Odysseus says, we don't know what defenses Hartman is facing before we play Notre Dame. Good point. Yeah, I'm not in any way saying the Navy defense is comparable to the Ohio State defense, nor the who they play this week, Tennessee State or some shit, Tennessee Tech. I don't know. Tennessee Community College. No way in any way are those 2 teams that Notre Dame played comparable to the Buckeye defense. Guaranteed. But it's a good point. So yeah, maybe Hartman is just getting lucky against suckers, beating up on cupcakes. So we'll see. I do still question what kind of weapons they have on the outside. I think our secondary is going to lock those guys up. I don't think they have anybody that is fast enough to toast our secondary or get open against our corners. As long as we play sound defense, yeah, Notre Dame's offense, I don't think I don't know. I'm not going to predict the score yet. I want to see him play somebody here in the next couple of weeks, but I don't know how they definitely aren't putting up 45. I'll tell you that. But let's check on the phone lines. All right, we got time for one more call today. We appreciate PC calling in. It's always good to talk to him. What else is going on? What about Dabo? What about Dabo going down, losing to Duke? See, that is what it looks like when you lose a conference game in week 1. That is like us losing to Indiana, man. That I know that Duke has a better quarterback, but other than that, Duke does not recruit anywhere close to the level Clemson does. Just like Indiana does not recruit anywhere close to the level Ohio State does. But I know we don't feel bad for Dabo whatsoever. I just think it's hilarious. I wanted to mention that. And for him to bring in Garrett Riley, guy was a hot commodity. He could have got a ton of OC jobs across the country. For them to bring him in and just waste him, it's Dabo being Dabo. You come in and run the Clemson offense. Don't bring your fancy high-flying, highfalutin offense into Clemson. Yeah. The used car salesman, yeah. And now that NIL is even across the board as far as being legal, you can't run funds through the New Spring Church and get kids paid to come to your school. Now everybody's getting paid to come to their schools. So kind of funny how that worked out. And yes, the Buckeyes did break Dabo in 2020. Break yourself, fool. Yeah. I'll be singing that to the cows come home. Buckeyes broke Clemson. He's definitely not getting that Alabama job whenever Saban retires. There's no freaking way. I think he could stay at Clemson for the rest of his career and they'll be satisfied with 8, 9, 10 wins. But he's not winning any more championships. No way. he really has to change his core values, I think, and his belief system. He has to embrace the transfer portal and stuff like that, not be so stringent with recruits that want to take other visits, all that shit. But got to quick drink of water. Oh boy. So yeah, don't forget to get your scores in here for the t-shirt giveaway. Youngstown State game. I got PC's 42-0 prediction, adding that to the list right now as we speak. I got Odysseus at 63-0. Billy, I got Billy at 52-0. Jeremiah, I got you at 55-0. And Temper 34-3. And we're adding PC at his 42-0. I really think we get a shutout this week. I don't see how you let an FCS team score. I'll be upset. I was really expecting it last week. Gave up a few yards on one drive, and that's all it takes to get in field goal range, right? All right, looks like things are quieting down. I'm gonna. Oh, tomorrow I got a really good daily blitz for you. I'm hoping YouTube doesn't ding me for this, but they're probably listening right now, so I just probably screwed myself. Anyway, I got some videos from last week's Indiana game. I'm focused on O-line mostly, and Kyle McCord, of course. But I got a couple videos on the defense. I just grabbed clips. I'm playing them back in slow-mo so you can see what's happening, especially on those offensive line issues. You can see who's, letting guys through. I think some of it was identification issues, like whether it was Hinsman or McCord not identifying the proper, the Mike linebacker or whatever they're looking for. I think that there were communication issues that really led to some of those blow-ups in the backfield, honestly, on the run game. Because the O-line ran past the ball well. They held up in pass protection, like I mentioned on the, was it Tuesday? No, Monday, on Monday's blitz, I think it was. Yeah, when I ran through the offense in their rankings. Josh Fryer was the only O-lineman to grade out a champion, and his grades reflect that from the PFF scores. So anyway, so tomorrow, check out that. I'll be doing a little side-by-side where I show you a video and talk your way through it, a lot of the self-explanatory, a little bit of Chip Trainum in there. And some good and bad plays from Kyle. So I think I'll get out of here and let you guys go about your evening, and hopefully the rest of the week goes quickly for you. A couple more days to the weekend, and we're back at it again. Got a nooner, got to bring the juice for a noon game in the shoe. It's always kind of a lazy, quiet, ho-hum kind of event when a Youngstown State rolls into the stadium. So, but appreciate everybody. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.